We are recording, and this is formative from the beginning. So I'm going to take you guys through like the very, very, very first steps. So where do you find formative? So you can go to your staff portal or go straight to Clever if you already have a bookmark for that. And if you don't see this icon already in your Clever library, you can go ahead and type formative at the top. This is the one you're looking for. And then if you put a little click on the heart, it'll make it solid, and then it'll put it in your favorites for you. Does anybody, so this is more of the way that I like to teach, and that's by discovering things together and playing. And so when I'm going through this, kind of my expectation is that you're going to Clever, you're finding formative, and you're going to open formative. It's kind of like the sandbox. What I want to do is show you all the different types of questions and how to really get an assessment started. I've made a 15 question, basically SLAM example quiz, so that you could see kind of how every type of question looks. And then for the sandbox, my expectation is that what we'll do is you're going to have an opportunity to either modify the quiz that I've sent you, like by making a copy of it and putting your own kind of like what you would put, like if you're teaching math, you're going to make it mathy. If you're teaching history, you're going to, figure out ways to make maps interactive and whatnot, so that you can kind of personalize it during the sandbox time. This time, I'm kind of going to show you how to build the different types of questions, how to put in the answer keys into it, and you're free to copy what I've done. I also have the link to my formative quiz coming up. So if I'm going too fast, please, by all means, raise your hand and say, whoa, slow down. But I'm going to assume at this point that everybody has opened formative. Is that correct? Cool. Cool. Yeah, you did first step. All right. So loading your classes, you would go to classes on the left. Then you can go to roster sync and sync with Clever and import your classes. If you already have classes, you can do the roster sync. It'll resync it. And I think I have that on my, yeah. So you would go to the class that's already there, go up to the 3 dots, and then Clever roster resync. Beginning of the semester, you're going to have so many, I don't have to tell you guys this, you're going to have so many different roster changes as things get leveled out and kids are coming back from vacation where they had to get unenrolled. You're going to have to resync with Clever pretty often. Every time they have a change, this does not automatically go. Does everybody see where I'm talking about with classes? Does anybody have any questions? It is absolutely not required for this SLAM session. So I just wanted to put it in there because that is an integral part of getting formative assessments going, because you need to be able to assign them once you've made them. Any questions from here? All right, cool. So when you want to open a new assessment, you're going to click on activities. It's on the left-hand side, then create, and you're going to create a formative. When it says formative, they're talking about an assessment. So go ahead and do that. and I'm going to get my link into the, let's see, copy link address. Put my link of the one I've made, which is the one I'm showing you, into the address bar, into the chat link, so that you can refer to it if you want to. Basically, we're going to be copying this one. You can use different pictures than I've used, but I'm going to walk you through 15 different assessment types of questions. So to change the title in your assessment, you're going to simply click on it. And it should give you just a number, formative number, blah, blah, blah. And that'll allow you to customize it. Any questions there? So when you want to add your first assessment item, you're going to click on add question or content, and it's going to give you all the options. I am going through 15 of these question types here, and paired passages over in the content area. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory, like true, false. And what else did I skip? I think I skipped multi-selection and multiple choice because we use those all the time. They're the same as you'll see in all the other apps. But this is pretty cool because you've got all these other options, and I'm pretty excited to show you what you can do with these. I really like starting with an anti-cheating clause that students have to initial. It's a fill in the blank type question. I basically say, hey, by entering my initials here, I'm acknowledging that cheating is going to receive a score of 0. It's a self-accountability that I can show to parents and say, look, there's no logical reason that your child should have gotten 100% on this assessment. They told me that they knew that cheating would receive a score of 0. They initialed it, and there you go. It's a CYA question. And you want to set the point value to 0 because this is not going to be graded. Yeah, Catherine Matson showed this to me. I loved it. She had, of course, like 5 statements that they had to initial. I'm pretty set with just the one. It's cut and dry. You cheat, you lose. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and start looking at how to enter these assessment questions. This is what that looks like on the assessment. So the format of my presentation shows you what the back end, our side of it, looks like. And then I'm going to show you on the next slide following it what it looks like to the students. So on the assessment question number 1, it shows them that they have 0 points for this question available. And they just simply click in the box. It puts the cursor there. They put their initials in. This little dialog box here means that they can write a question to you or communicate to you specifically about this question. So down at the bottom of the first question that you've added, you'll see this plus button. So you can choose basically any of those that I showed you on one of the first slides where it listed all the different types, or it pre-slugs some common options for you so that you can just do a single click and it'll like bring up that template. Usually it's one of the last ones that you did, so that's why fill in the blank is here, and then it just takes an educated guess as to what you may want next. I'm going to go through them in the order that they were in the list. So my next one is categorize. So I chose random questions to make these really easy to understand, and kind of make them as interactive as possible. And I have tried to show on these slides where you would enter your answer key, so that it's automatically graded. So I entered 4 different sports here, and then I gave it 2 different areas or categories where kids could drag their answers to. So when you are trying to separate, well, I'm going to go with math because that's, I mean, we've got mostly math people in here, 3 out of, well, actually, I didn't see who else entered, but many of us are math. So if you wanted to do like, drag the equations based on, or equations and expressions, or, you know, there's so many things you could do. You could put pictures in here and say, you know, functions and non-functions. And so they would just click on these little, I don't know, egg cartons, maybe we'll call them, and then just drag them in. And so this is what it looks like for the kids. They'll just take it, click and drag it down to whichever category it fits into. You can set the value of the points, and on every question, they are able to make a comment to you. So if they're like, I don't understand the difference between a field and a court, that's more information to you than them simply not answering the question, or them just doing something randomly, like sticking them all in field. So I always encouraged my students to write questions to me if they didn't understand something. It gave me more data. Does Google Extension translate all the text on here? You know, I don't know, but that's a really good question. I had sheltered last year, and I did the Google Translate on a separate window and then copied and pasted them all in here. I don't know, but Stephen Elliott will definitely be able to tell you. He does the more intermediate and advanced stuff with formative, and I can definitely reach out to him kind of maybe on our break, because I know he's presenting right now. Sorry about that. I'm actually not using formative this year, so I'm a little bit out of practice with all of the bells and whistles because I'm doing coding and robotics now, and so I just don't use it. Probably could be using it better. The next one type of question, I really like this one, is drag and drop. So if you have maps, if you have colors, like if you're in a EL class where you're really starting at square one, they can really have a clear visual. It's interactive. You put the points where you want them, and it opens up a box, and then you enter the words you want or whatever into these. I could see this being awesome for quadratics, where you're like, okay, what's the x-intercept, the y-intercept, max, min, all kinds of stuff would be cool for labeling graphs. And then this is what it looks like for the kids. So sorry, it's small. They show you where the points are. They show you the empty box, and then they click the little egg carton and drag them in. Any questions on categorize or drag and drop? Oh, they did use it for that. Okay, cool. Very cool. It's always way more fun when it's interactive. We have a drop-down menu option. So you can put anything you want in these drop downs. And you would click this add drop down when you wanted it to be inserted. Last year it was a little bit difficult to, like, if you wrote out your whole sentence and then you're like, oh, I forgot to add the drop down, like clicking and dragging it into the right place was a little bit difficult and funky. I don't know if they've fixed that. I didn't try it because I knew I needed a space there and a drop down, so I added it where I needed it. But just keep in mind that maybe dragging like spaces for fill in the blank and drop down menus to where you wanted it in the text may or may not be as clean as you'd like it to be. Your answer key, you directly mark which one is correct when you're making the question. And you can put as many options as you want. I don't know what the limit is for these drop downs. So like combining like terms would be cool with this. Like if you had a big old long equation and then your drop down was, hey, simplify this, you could have all kinds of different versions of it. And they had to pick the one that actually simplified it. And this is what it looks like for the kids. So I clicked on this drop down so you could see how the options looked. The next one, fill in the blank. You can put any number of blanks and it'll tell you blank 1, blank 2. You can even add math blanks to it. So I believe it will come up with a number box and it'll have like variables and stuff as options. I did that a lot when I was teaching math so that they don't have to like, typing math is always kind of a mess. But they do have this here so you can have square roots and squares and stuff like that. And then this should only be used for when you have a very specific answer that you want, because you will have to type all the correct iterations of that correct answer based on how you think your students will do it. So if you really wanted your blank to be x equals 4, you're going to have to put in where they may put a space, where if they're going to use a capital X or a lowercase x, like it is going to be very specific about what that correct answer is. And so just be careful of that. And then this is what it looks for the kids. I put my cursor in there so you could see what it looks like. And then as they type, the little fill in the blank box just expands. Any questions on those two? Cool. Free response. I don't know why they want a correct answer there. I never put one because it would just mark them wrong. But this is kind of fun for if you wanted kind of an icebreaker question, or, hey, explain to me the difference between an expression and an equation. Something where you want them to really think about it and actually come up with complete sentences, or I assume they could probably do bullet points just by hitting enter and doing it like this. These are all the options that they get on the assessment. So they have quite a range of ability to format. I believe that's to enter a graph. I know that this is an insert button. They can put a table in and links. They can do a lot of different stuff. Oops. A lot of different stuff with the free response. The graphing, of course, I loved, but I will tell you, if you want them to graph an equation, it's going to do it in 2 points. And if you want to have it automatically graded, I don't know if they've fixed this yet, they have to choose those exact same 2 points. Otherwise, it will not mark them correct. The graph settings is really helpful though. If you want them to decide the graph type, so like with these 2 points, you can have infinite types of graphs. And I chose on this one for it to be a quadratic. And I put these in here. I answered it so you could see what it looks like. Oh no, sorry, this is the back end. This is our end. So I chose quadratic. So I did not let the students decide the graph type. So it automatically, when I put these 2 points in, made a quadratic graph. You can require them to do x-intercepts, y-intercepts. You can choose how big your graph is that they can work with. And the tick type, everything is pretty customizable. And then this is what it looks like for them. They get instructions, click the graph tab. So they'll click, because you could have them do multiple graphs. So they click on graph number 1, and then you click on the graph anywhere here to add a point, and then you click your second point. If I had them choose what type of graph, that would be another option here. They can zoom in, zoom out, and I'm not sure what the eyeball is because there's a preview here. You can change the scale on the axes. I'm pretty sure you can. Let me go to, let me log into my formative. 1 second. So here's my formative and graphing one. Whoa, you went way too far. There we go. So if I click on my settings, I can decide steps. So if you wanted them to be in like whole numbers, you would put 1 here and then 1 here. That should fix the issue. And I lost my chat box. There it is. Oh, the icon shows the coordinates. Thank you. Does that help with the steps? Play with that and see if that might help. The tick type might. No, I don't think it does. Oh, good. Then it's a new thing. Cool. Yay. All right. Let me go back to presentation. Okay. The next one is hotspot. And this is kind of cool too, especially if you're doing social studies and you want them to pick out a country or pick out a flag, or even if you had a full-on equation and you're like, pick the exponent, you could put a whole bunch of possible sections for them to click. And then when you're making the question, you want to put a check mark on the correct one. That's your answer key. You can do squares, which is what I did, or quadrilaterals. You can do circles, and then you can do dots. And then this is what it looks like on the assessment. They just have these grayed out areas where they can choose from. And I think that's kind of fun too. Any questions on graphing or hotspots? Cool, cool. I realize there's not enough time for you guys to build these. I don't know what I thought in my head what 45 minutes would look like. But we luckily have the sandbox, and you have this already built for you. You have the link to it, so we can modify everything to your personal classes during the sandbox. Hot text, you can set it up where they need to choose one of the things that you've highlighted. And this also would be kind of cool for like choose this type of term or something like that if you had an equation in here. This automatically fills when you highlight letters, sentences, or words, and you would click the correct one. That's your answer key. So it looks like this for the kids. And then they just click whichever one. Match table grid. So these are great for bivariates. They're great for pretty much anything. If you have a grid and instead of doing multiple choice in separate questions, you can kind of put them all together if you have kind of two different categories that match. This is what it looks like for the kids. It's got scrolling ability, so if you had a really large one, you'd be able to let them scroll through it, and if it didn't fit on the screen. Matching. So you're basically building your answer sheet right here as you put them in. And as far as I can tell, these ones stay static when it's on the assessment. These ones get jarbled, which they don't make it very clear when they're giving you the instructions for it, but that's what it came out on my side. So they'll once again grab the egg carton and then just drag up or down so that it matches straight across. Any questions on those two? Cool. Number line, these are great for inequalities. It allows you to click once. I believe click once gives you the closed dot, and click again gives you the open dot. And then you can choose a right arrow or left arrow. While you're doing this, you're building the answer key. And so if they did a closed dot, x is greater than or equal to 3, it would mark it wrong. And then this is what it looks like for them. It gives them the instructions, click on the graph, and then click on, oh, it's the same one. Interesting. Huh. I guess you can put 2 points to add a line segment. So greater than 3 and less than or equal to 5. You could do something like that too. And I did not look at the settings one for this. Sorry about that. I didn't put that one in. So that's really good one for, I think 7th graders do this in their curriculum. And then paired passages is the last one that I put on. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, I forgot to put them in alphabetical order. Paired passages is cool. It allows you to have the kids compare and contrast if you want them to. It also only shows one passage at a time. So if you wanted them to analyze or answer questions about a passage, or you could even put in a table here. So if you wanted them to analyze the table and see if it's a function, stuff like that, you could put it in here. And then I chose free response for this one, but when you add a question, and you can add tons of questions, and so this stays static and they scroll on the right-hand side through those questions. You can add whatever type of question you want. And so for this one, it looks like this for them. And then they click on passage 2. I kind of wish that they would be able to show them at the same time as an option for that. Like if you wanted them to compare 2 graphs side by side. But then this is their free response that I chose to really tell me what you know. Resequence allows them to click and drag these into order. So I just chose a historical question, and then as it mixes them up, so the answer key gets built right here. One thing I noticed with this that was really annoying is that I was just making these questions on the fly and I didn't have them in chronological order to start with. And it doesn't let you drag them into the correct order, which was really annoying. So I had to retype 2 of the names to get them in my answer sheet order. This is what it looks like for the kids. So they can click the egg carton and just move them to where they are in the order you've asked for. Any questions on that so far? All right. This, I believe, is the last one. So I really like these types of questions. I usually do this in a Google form, but you can have them make a video response. As a non-Hispanic person, I sometimes have some really hard times with the names that I've never seen before. And I, with a weird last name, I've been used to people mispronouncing my name. And so it's important to me that I get their name correct. A lot of times at the beginning of the year, I will say, tell me how to pronounce your name correctly. And then also tell me how not to pronounce your name, because sometimes I don't pick up on the little like accentuations of consonants and vowels. And so it's helpful for me to go, oh, that's how I would have read it, but I'm not going to do that. And it allows them to have some personality before you really get to know the child. So that's an option on here too. When it's on their assessment or whatever, this is how it looks. When they click on record video response, these are the 3 options that they get. And obviously we would want them to just record video from their Chromebook. So I hope that this has been informative for you. I know I went through them fast, but like I said, you have my formative. I think it's going to make a copy for you. And you are able to see all the front end stuff, the back end stuff. And if you are not attending the sandbox, please let me know so I can give you the feedback sheet. But here's my email, and you are more than welcome to be like, just reach out at any point and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I'm struggling to make it look right. Or, you know, I think it looks right, but then I hit preview and it's not what I want. I love troubleshooting. So please reach out if you want any support or assistance. And if it's something that I haven't done before, I am more than happy to reach out to like Steven or even Amber and just say, hey, you guys are like formative gurus. Please help me through this. So yeah, we've got 6 minutes. Do you guys have any questions right now before our break? And if you are not attending the sandbox, I will put the feedback link in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask, because I'm in Watsonville at my daughter's wrestling tournament, and they're about to start.
Nice.
And so, and I'm like, I don't need to be on the computer trying to do that while screaming at a wrestling tournament.
I am very grateful for that. I don't want to listen to you screaming at a wrestling tournament. Let me get that in here.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So if you are not going to be in the sandbox, there's the feedback link. But otherwise, I kind of expect to see everybody in 20 minutes and hopefully put some really cool stuff together. And if all of this was like you already knew it, I'm happy to go a little bit further with you on certain things. If you really like the practice sets that I showed you as kind of like bonus material in the slam part, I'm happy to build that with you. Whatever you'd like to do, I'm in. I love the sandbox time. We will use the same link for the sandbox Google Meet link. So if you guys are cool, you get a 20-minute break. 19 now. Right on. No worries. Good luck to your daughter, Juanita.
Thanks. She's been doing really good. So
that's so cool.
She's been this is her second high school year, and she's medaled already 3 times. And it's been a challenging season because she's been like, I don't want to wrestle, but I do want to wrestle. So she actually, yesterday at the duel at Rancho, she got to wear the varsity uniform. So, let's see if she gets to keep the varsity uniform.
So she's been wrestling with the decision?
Well, she wants to wrestle. She's good at it. And she wants to keep wrestling. But she's also like, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I don't want to. And I'm just like, get up, go to practice. Let's go. So, you know what the kids do, like when they want to do something, but they don't want to do it. And, you know.
I wanted to do crew.
Really good.
I wanted to do crew in high school, and I think I would have been really like good at it. But they got up at like 4 a.m. I'm all,
Yeah, well, wrestling, they're intense. Like, it's a hard sport. And so she's just like, I'm so tired. I was like, be quiet, because you like the way you look when you're wrestling because you're in shape.
Right? I love watching our middle schoolers wrestle.
Oh, yeah. So she's been wrestling since 7th grade. So it's been, this is her 4th year.
That's so cool.
Yeah, she almost got to go to the varsity tournament this weekend in Napa Valley, but she showed up to practice Monday and sat down like, I'm tired, because practice was at 9 a.m. And she sat down and the coach was like, sorry, you're supposed to be out there practicing. You're not going. And I was like, kid.
Those are hard lessons.
I wanted to go to because it's in Napa. So, oh well.
I actually am friends with one of the really big coaches up in that area, Micah Watanabe. She's way cool, and oh my God. So that would have been a really cool tournament.
Yeah.
Oh well. It's a good lesson to learn.
We're here at Watsonville at this tournament, so So,
Right
so
on.
we'll see. Then she doesn't have a tournament till the 17th, so I'm like, oh, thank God. So I'm tired. I'm tired as a mom,
You're tired. Get that
but
kid a
yes.
driver's license.
Well, she's only 15, so she can't get one yet.
Oh, never mind then.
But I
Not
like
yet.
going. I like being the like one of the team parents. So
That's
it's
cool.
and then I have kids that are my students here, so it's kind of nice.
Oh, that's cute. All
So
right.
yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thanks. I will see you tomorrow.
I'm not back tomorrow, so
Okay.
have fun
Whoever's doing
tomorrow.
it tomorrow. Whoever's
I'm.
doing whoever's doing the formative, I'll do it. I'll be there tomorrow.
It must be Steven. He
Okay.
usually does it. All right.
Okay.
Good luck.
Well, see you
Bye.
later. Have a good start of your semester.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty. So I will see you guys at 11. I'll be back.